We begin tonight with George Will, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the Washington Post, NewsNation senior political contributor. Good to see you, sir. Are we seeing Donald Trump stronger and, dare I say, more nimble than he was as the president-elect in 2016?
Probably, but Leland, Mr. Hegseth's problem is not the Washington Post or the New York Times or all the rest. His problem is, as he goes up and down the halls of the Senate office buildings, trying to see senators and round up support, the media is full of stories coming not from the media, but through the media from the Trump transition, talking about possible replacements for Hegseth, particularly Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida. That is an extraordinarily awkward position for the nominee to be in, where they're already looking at a potential backup and leaking about it. So it seems to me that order ought to be imposed upon, from the top down, the Trump transition, if they're going to get this man across the finish line.
Well, to be fair, those leaks about Ron DeSantis, at least from my sources, have dried up, right? You know, that was a couple of days ago, and the betting markets had a sort of a massive change, right? Massive recovery in the betting odds. November 20th, he had a 74% chance of being confirmed. Wednesday, that number went to 17%. Today, he's back up at 37%. And there is now a concerted effort by, you want to call it MAGA, but by Donald Trump's supporters to put pressure on the senators. Take a listen.
With all due respect to the senator from Iowa, you're not where the American people are. President Trump is. And Pete Hegseth is.
And if you are going to oppose Pete Hegseth, then we want to know your names and your states, because we'll be visiting a neighborhood near you. We don't get a mandate like this from the American people just to have it thwarted by a bunch of dorks that we've never heard of from the U.S. Senate.
You got to put the fear in them. You got to put the fear in them. These are not your colleagues. You go up to Capitol Hill, you're in enemy territory. But we can't back off. You can't back off Pete Hegseth. You back off Pete Hegseth, they're going to smell blood. They're coming for Cash, and they're going to come for Tulsi, and they're going to come for Bobby Kennedy. They're coming for all of them.
I think that may be the first time in my life that Steve Bannon and I have oddly had the same talking points, or at least the same view of the world. But there seems to be this understanding by Team Trump that, you know, Matt Gaetz's confirmation or life as a nominee was measured in days, and that showed weakness. Now they need to show strength.
I think you're right that that's their calculation, but I don't think the way to show strength is to attack, as some of the sound bites you just had are doing, senators as stubborn as not doing their duty, which is to stand up and salute the president. Remember, he can only lose 4 Republican senators, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and a couple others, and that's it. So I really don't think that this is wise for his supporters to make this a question of institutional falling in line. Senators really don't like to be told their duty by talk radio and talk television.
Yeah, it would not be the first time that Charlie Kirk or Steve Bannon have not done their savior, Donald Trump, any favors. I'm fascinated how Donald Trump seems to have flipped, because we very rarely see Donald Trump expend political capital on anybody but himself unless he believes that there's something in it for him. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.